Hello, and I am Sightless Hero, also known as Kelsey, Sightless Hero on Instagram. If you don't follow me already, you should go and check it out because I post a lot of quirky, unusual and macabre shit, so you should definitely check me out. But I'm here today to do the Do All Blind People See the Same tag, nominated by Forty Nut Guy. I've seen this tag circulating by Jubilee, also Kayla with a C, a few others, so let's get started. Okay, the first question is, being quiet. Being blind has enhanced my other senses. I would say, when I was registered partially sighted, I could see a little bit, so I didn't rely on other senses as much. But as I've developed as blindness has developed and I've become totally blind, I'd say my sense of touch, I've learned to use that a lot better. I can read Braille now, I can identify objects with my fingers, I can do a lot of things just by touch. I'd say my sense of taste has gone a lot better, my sense of hearing has gone a lot better. I wouldn't say it's superhuman though. I wouldn't say like Daredevil level or, you know, anything like that, because it's not superhuman in any way. It's just purely that I can utilise it better. So that's the answer to the first question. The second question is, excuse my voice over there, please. Second question, do I prefer to date blind people? You know what, I've never actually gone out with a blind person. I identify as LGBTQIA, but I am in a heterosexual relationship. My partner is not blind, but there has been times in my life where I've considered going out with a blind person purely because, this is going to sound really bad, but I don't care, to be honest. For the humour factor, I've been out with blind friends and it seems to attract a lot of attention. People seem to be really drawn to the fact that we can't see. It inhibits a lot of conversation, you make a lot of friends. But in general, no, I'm quite happy in the relationship I'm in because I can rely on my boyfriend a lot. He does the things that I can't do or that I won't do, because sometimes it's like, if I can't cook the tea, for example, or go to the shop, I'll say, please baby, will you go to the shop? And he'll go to the shop for me. But I will do it myself, I promise, because I'm on the guide dog list. I'm waiting for my first guide dog, so that'll all change when I get him or her. So yeah. Next question is, my phone's gone off. I am less shallow about romantic partners. You know what? It doesn't matter to me what people look like, because you get a sense of how good looking people are by the way they are with the personality. Someone could be in terms of, I don't know, like what people deem attractive or unattractive. They could be the most beautiful person, or they could be what people deem to be ugly. But it doesn't matter to me, because it's what it is inside that counts. If that person cares about me, then I care about them. I have a loving heart and I'm willing to give it to those who are willing to give it back, so that doesn't count for me. The city I live in is easily accessible to me. Well, I live in a very metropolitan city, which means that there's a lot of cityscape that is hard to navigate with a cane. At the moment I am a long cane user, so when I do go out alone, I make sure that I do know the area, that the street furniture that I'm aware of is easily in my knowledge base, so I don't fall over or I don't make mistakes. But there's a particular street in the city that I live which is very, I'd say, higgledy-piggledy, because there's so much street furniture that it's so hard to get around, and you have to be careful because you will fall over. And those who live in my city will know what street I'm talking about if you're visually impaired. it's a nightmare. But basically I don't go there often without sighted assistance, so it's not often that I fall over on that street. But I'd say in general my city is accessible. I'm proud of my city and I wouldn't live anywhere else. Oops, I've messed the questions up. Basically, I've messed the questions up, but unsolicited help, that question. I don't know, like, this is a question to me that doesn't really bother me, because if somebody is willing to give you the help, I always accept it with a polite hand, because it's not very often that you come across people that are willing to help. So if somebody offers to cross me across the road, I will take it, I will accept it, regardless of how they have handled the situation. So if they have took me by the arm and physically led me across the road, I'll feel kind of uncomfortable or put off in a certain way, but I won't neglect that help that someone has gave me, because basically you don't come across that many nice people. So I would say it doesn't bother me. As long as that person is willing to help and isn't rude and is nice to me, then that doesn't matter to me. I'm offended when blind is used as one of my characteristics. Not at all. I've identified as a visually impaired / blind person for as long as I can remember. So if people say, oh, you're blind, Kelsey, then I'll take that as a compliment, because I'm quite easygoing, so I'll just laugh it off and be like, yeah, I am, so what, kind of thing. You know, I'm cool, I'm badass, whatever, you know what I mean? But it depends. Like, if it was a friend circle, then that's fine, that's cool. But if it's in a professional capacity, then I don't appreciate that label, because it's like they are categorising me, or they are marginalising me with a group in society that has already been marginalised. I'd rather people take me on face value and that I am intelligent, or that I am good at the job, or that I can do this and I can do that, as opposed to putting a language in the way that is a barrier to what I am able to do. So it doesn't bother me in the sense that I am blind, because I am. That there's no change in that. But it depends on the circumstances, because I know I'm intelligent, I know I'm able, I know I'm capable. But if people use that to describe me as, if people use that language to describe me to infuriate me, then yeah, it infuriates me. The next question is, VoiceOver's logged me out. It's the way this email is written, sorry, it's all hit over the place and it's hard to navigate with VoiceOver. But being visually impaired has affected my mental health. This is a topic I don't touch upon often, because I am a person who already identifies with mental health issues. Regardless of my visual impairment, I do identify with illness that affects the brain. So it has affected me in the sense that I'm not able to get out and about as much as I'd like. I'd like to be more independent, I'd like to be able to go places more, but I know this is going to be promoted when I get a guide dog. So it has affected me in that sense, but in terms of mental health as a whole, I'm quite content, and I like the way I am, I don't mind. It's interesting, I meet a lot of interesting people. I get to go a lot of cool places with blind people. So as a collective, we are interesting people, we are cool, so that to me is interesting enough for me to stay as a blind person, as a label, and not be offended by it. So that's totally cool by me. I have experienced discrimination. This is a yes. I've just experienced some discrimination in terms of how people treat me or how people speak to me. I've been referred to in the street as a blind bitch once or twice. I was discriminated at university because I had a support worker and they said I had an unfair advantage over the other students, which was wrong, and now that I look back on it, I should have done something about that, but I didn't. So I left university feeling as though I had an empty hole in my chest because I didn't challenge that discrimination that was put upon me. But yeah, people do tend to treat you like you're different people will treat you like you're different, because in essence you are different. We are different because visually we have a cane, we have a guide dog. Not everyone in the blind community uses a cane or a guide dog, but generally people who do use a cane or a guide dog stand out, and we do look different to the norm, if you will, the norm. I'm doing this with my fingers, I'm doing in air quotes for those who can't see me. So it's just one of those things you've got to take on the chin sometimes. You've got to just take it with the blows, you've got to take it with the punches. If it affects you so much that you can do something about it, I say do. I'm not really affected by discrimination unless it would be physical discrimination, because I'm quite easygoing, as I said, so I can laugh it off, or I can brush it off. Until, I hope I never face, I say until, but I hope I never face full-blown discrimination, because I don't know how my mental health would cope with that, because I am quite confident and I do care about how other people see me. But in general, I'm quite confident and I can brush it off. So in terms of that, I'm quite cool with it. It hurts my feelings, of course it does. It hurts everybody's feelings, because we're just people at the end of the day. We're not different, we're not aliens, we're not a different species. Unless you're Boris Johnson, you know, you've got to be looked at as though you're just part of society, because that's all we are. We're just working class people, or we're just people who want to make a difference, and that's all we are. The last question, I think, is if I could regain my sight with a cure, I would. This is a question that's crossed my mind and my mum and dad's mind so many times. I would say I'd like to go back to being partially sighted, or legally blind, as those of you in the other realms of the world call it. I'm quite happy being totally blind. I don't feel any different. It's just certain situations get me on the off chance, which I don't fully understand how to tackle sometimes. I've only been blind for, say, 7-8 years, so I don't really fully understand how to tackle that barrier as of yet, but I'm sure it'll grow with time. My eye condition means that I'll never regain my vision. I'm due to get eye surgery soon, which will be removing my eyes for prosthetics, which that'll be another video eventually, but I'm totally fine with that at the moment. But I like the way things are. I like the way I can feel and smell and taste things differently, and taking the world as a different type of person, because it does change you as a person. I feel like my world has changed so much that I've become an enhanced version of who I was. But I'd be happy with some partial vision back. I wouldn't want total vision, because I don't know what that would be like, and plus I'd be like everyone else, and that's not cool. I don't like being like everyone else. I like being a bit extraordinary and a bit different, because that's just how I'm built and that's how my personality works. I am a writer, so I do write a lot about blindness and melancholy and depression and anxiety. So my outlook on life is always going to be different than anybody else's, because I see the world through different eyes. I see the world through a person's eyes who has mental illness, as well as someone with a visual impairment. So, all that being said, I hope this answered your questions. If you want to see more of me, just comment on the video below, or follow me on Instagram, drop me a message, drop me a comment, and I'll keep you updated. So, thanks for watching. Ciao!